Yeah.
So your coming here and teaching us has, I think, made a profound difference for quite a few of us. And I have felt many positive changes and starting to work from an inspired action. But I'm also finding I'm on this roller coaster. I get really high and then I crash really low.
What do you do when you crash? This is for everyone. So think about what you do when you
I
crash.
think my response varies. There have been times where I refocus and I rise again and I bounce back fast. And then there are times where I think I struggle with tapping into that and I'm lower for a longer period of time.
Yes, what we feel like for you in your particular instance is that you're resisting going to the deepest, darkest place. There's a part of you that's in resistance to that. And yet, if you would just go there, it's like you're swimming and you go to the bottom of the pool and you touch the ground. You see, you touch it, you feel it, and then you allow yourself to come up. What you're doing is you're trying to negate it early. You don't want to go there because you're like, I've already been on the spiritual path. Why am I still going there? And by you saying that, you go even lower. And then it just becomes this, it's harder to recover when you're down here, yes? When you have a little higher set point, and yet we don't see you as going as low as before, yes? But there is still some grief you're working through, yes? There's some sadness from a long, long time ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's okay. We want you to feel it. You see, when you just let yourself cry, you're crying from happiness, mm-hmm. but it's because your body needs the release, you see, of emotion. We pointed this out before, but you cry when you're happy, you cry when you're sad. Isn't that interesting? Yes? You shake in fear and you shake in excitement. It's very interesting. That's the same end of the spectrum, yes? So we want you to, when you cry, really cry. This may sound silly, but maybe watch a sad movie and cry. What would happen if you really cried? Doesn't that feel good sometimes when you just cry and cry? When we're on the other side, you see, you don't cry anymore. But it's a release, you see, because it can be a painful experience on the planet. We've done it. We understand. It's painful sometimes. And you too are a sensitive person. You see other people going through hardships and you don't want to see it. We want you to see it. We want you to look at it, to know it as illusion. To know the suffering comes from the story that you're telling about the situation. Yes? Go there all the way and then start to rise. Again, it's as simple as saying rise. When you're down here, you say rise, little bit. When you're up here, you say rise, you're like, woo! Then you maybe dial it down a little bit because people start giving you too much. You see, and so what happens is, again, it's the roller coaster all of you have, yes? Do you feel like some days you're really happy and you're, woo, this is really good, and then, whoa, why am I down here? I was just up there. What if you just said, oh, I'm down there, I'm going to take a day off. I'm going to do love on me. I'm going to do all the things, you call it self-care. We just want you to love on yourself. Hug yourself. You go for walks, you listen to music, you eat your favorite foods. You don't tell yourself you can't eat certain foods, you just eat it. You feel good. You feel good in whatever it is you're doing. Perhaps, oh, you like lotion, you like smell, so you put on your favorite scent. Yes, candles? You like scented things. You're romantic. So you're romantic to you. You see, don't expect your husband to do it for you or anybody else. You do it for you, and that will slowly bring you up, rise, rise, rise. And then you say it a little bit and you feel a little oomph in your frequency, yes? When you feel that oomph, that's when you say, times 10. Okay. And then you go. But see, you cannot do times 10 when you're down here, right? Because it's too low. You've had this huge, it's like this, versus when you're vibrating, you're like, zzz. So you can't go from here to here. You can go from here, and you say rise, and maybe now you're here. And what ends up happening is so many of you want consistency, yes? Mm-hmm. And so there's here. And so at some points, the more you every day start anew with saying, I am now the best and highest dimension of myself today. I now choose to learn through faith and not suffering. I choose to surround myself with positive, loving people within my same frequency range. I now love everyone for who and what they are and what they represent. Can you do that? Can you do that, all of you? Can you fully embrace all of it and understand it's just a story? It's just an illusion. It's like Star Wars. It really is. It's just an illusion. Tell yourself that. When it starts seeming bad, tell yourself there's no such thing as bad or good. It's your judgment makes it so. It's a perception. Tell yourself that until you don't go so low anymore. See, because once you cry it out, don't you get relief right away? It's in the resistance. It's like you're holding yourself away from all your success. Because, why do you do this? Because you think your head would explode in orgasmic thus. So your good can come in little metered places, yes? Allow little joys. You see, right before you check out, what do you think of? Do you think of the dramatic moments, or do you think of those moments where you were calm and happy and perhaps you're drinking your tea on the deck? Do you remember the smell of the lotion as you put it on and the candles? And you're very good at creating atmosphere. Yes? Yes. And so we say for a while it may be this. It's also about surrounding yourself with frequency family who understand and love you no matter what. And who don't say, we don't know what you're talking about, you know. Or, ooh, this is good. Who don't allow you to go to your saddest. You see, right now, whoever is around you, you're there for them. And yet when you lose your shit, as Michelle calls it, they don't know how to handle it. And so you're teaching by being present for each other. Because when you're sad and upset, all you need from someone else is to be there and hold your hand, yes? Too often you try and talk too much. Because you're in resistance to their pain. And yet, if you were constantly successful at maintaining your high vibration no matter what was going on around you, their lower vibration would not affect yours. That's mastery. When your aura can be so big and happy consistently, and you see you're not there yet, but you have grand expectations of yourself. You want to be up here all the time. And more often it's more like this, slowly going up the ladder until now your low is here. Now it's easier to get up here, yes? Because it's just a little hop, skip and a jump. Up, yeah, well, we like doing that. Too often you forget the glee of being in the body. This is fun. We don't get to do this anymore. You don't jump like children all the time. Yes? You're around children all the time and you watch how they do somersaults. Do your children do somersaults? We see somersaults. When's the last time you did a somersault? You say, I'll hurt myself. That's of pure joy. Stop telling yourself you're going to hurt yourself. Move your body out of glee and joy. The more you start your day off with that, again, don't carry your sadness into the next day. You guys are so good at that. You'll wake up and you'll think of something that happened a year ago. Now, this is important. Past, present, future all happening at the same time. Right? Can you really understand that? And so when you are thinking of a bad thing that happened a year ago, that you're judging as bad, guess what you're bringing into your now? If it's all happening at the same time, you're choosing to bring that into now. What if you chose a happier memory? So perhaps you see it, you acknowledge it, you say, yeah, that happened. Remember that time I was on vacation in Cancun? That's what we see in Michelle's memory bank. Because that's where she felt really happy and alive and joyous. And then what happens when she's focusing on being there, it's a memory, but she's there. And now she's smelling the salt of the sea. She's feeling that power, and then other like feelings of that come to her magnetically. So you're always choosing, there's no such thing as time. Your past, present, future are all happening right now. Isn't that exciting? So instead of dwelling on the past, it's happening now. Do you choose it, or do you choose something happier? It's all a choice. You are so powerful. We wish we could get through to you how truly, divinely powerful you are. You forget. And then you go into your poor me mode. You are not poor me. You are, who is rich me? By rich, we don't mean finances. That's limited. How are you rich? What are the ways you are rich? You are rich in family. You are rich in love. You are rich in surroundings and beauty. You appreciate beauty. So start telling yourself who is rich me, not who is poor me. And then watch your vibration lift.
Well, this is a good conversation. Thank you.